Namaste. Welcome back, Stellar Stargazers, and a warm cosmic hello to our new listeners. I'm Sophie.
And I'm Heather, and you're tuning into the Stellar Soulcast,
where we decode the cosmos one episode at a time.
And in our last episode, we drifted through the dreamy, mystical waters of Neptune, the planet of compassion, creativity, and illusion. We explored how Neptune blurs reality and inspires soul-level imagination.
But this week, we're going deep, like underworld deep. Pluto is here to strip away what no longer serves, burn it all to ash, and help you rise stronger. Think transformation, shadow work, and rebirth. This is Cosmic Phoenix energy. Before we dive in, make sure to hit subscribe, follow us at the Stellar Soulcast on all our socials, and grab your astro journals because Pluto's about to get real.
All right, stargazers, now that you've got your astro journals ready, we're about to descend into one of the most mysterious, intense, and transformative mythological realms in the cosmos. But fair warning, this mythological dive is going to feel a little darker and maybe a little deeper than some of our past planetary deep dives. We also want to emphasize that in earlier episodes, we traced planetary origins back through the Babylonians, Greeks, and Romans, telling their mythological tales of the 7 visible planets you can spot with your naked eye. But Pluto, like Uranus and Neptune, yeah, he's a late arrival to the astrological stage, discovered much later in human history. Pluto was officially discovered in 1930, which, at the time of this recording in 2025, is less than 100 years ago.
Whoa.
Right? Crazy. What up, Pluto?
Kind of interesting with that birth okay.
Yep.
I'm not going to even go into it too much.
Ooh, I think we're going to hit it here, though.
Stay tuned.
Hey. But Pluto was discovered by astronomer Clyde Tombaugh. I like that.
Yeah. What a cool last name.
I don't know why I'm like CT scan.
Hey, CT. Shout out to CT.
Pluto's arrival in astrology coincided with a turbulent era which included the Great Depression, rising world conflicts, and seismic shifts in global power structures. The timing could not have been more Plutonian, a period marked by destruction, regeneration, and the transformation of entire societies. When it came to naming this distant, shadow-dwelling planet, astronomers kept with their tradition and reached back into classical mythology. They chose Pluto, the Roman god of the underworld, known to the Greeks as Hades. Ruler of the realm of the dead and keeper of Earth's hidden riches, Pluto governed over endings and beginnings, darkness and rebirth. His very domain was one inevitable change, and nothing entered his kingdom without being transformed. In myth, Pluto embodied the power of the unseen. He wore the helm of invisibility, making him impossible to detect, and was both feared and respected as the ultimate authority over life's final transition. While mortals feared his realm, they also believed it held immense wealth, because it was deep in earth where they believed gold, precious gems, and rich fertile soil was born. This mirrors Pluto's astrological energy perfectly, its destruction paired with creation, as well as loss paving the way for renewal. Even though Pluto wasn't part of the 7 ancient visible planets, his discovery opened a new dimension in astrology, a dimension that deals with what's hidden, what must die so it can be reborn, and how transformation is the truest form of power. Since its discovery, Pluto has been linked with transformation and rebirth, power and control, regeneration and healing, as well as shadow work. He's small yet mighty influence. Pluto moves slowly and works in profound cycles, shaping entire generations and guiding us through our most personal and collective metamorphosis. To summarize, Pluto's mythos says, face the shadow, claim your power, and transform to your truest self. So, stargazers, take a deep breath and gather your courage, because today we're meeting the part of you that rises from ashes, reclaims its strength, and embraces the art of transformation, Let's descend into Pluto's realm and see what treasures lie in the dark.
So, what exactly does Pluto rule in your chart, stargazers? And why is this small, shadow-dwelling planet such a cosmic heavyweight? Well, like Uranus and Neptune, Pluto isn't your straightforward checklist-carrying astrology teacher. No. Pluto shows up like a wrecking ball and tears down what no longer serves you and says, we're going to rebuild this from the ground up, stronger, truer, and unshakable. Pluto rules where we experience deep transformation, where endings make way for beginnings, and where our shadows become key to unlocking our greatest personal power. Let's break it down. Pluto rules transformation and rebirth. This is your inner phoenix, the part of you that faced complete destruction and still rises, fiercer than before. Pluto shows where you must shed old skin, burn away the false layers, and emerge in your purest form. He also oversees power and control. Pluto governs how you hold your power, where you might give it away, and the lessons that teach you to reclaim it. This is where you confront authority, both in the world around you and within you, and learn how to wield influence without losing your integrity. Pluto also rules shadow work and truth. And this is where situations get real. It's a planet of what's hidden, your fears, desires, wounds, and taboos. Pluto invites you to drag them out of the darkness, face them head on, and use that truth as fuel for transformation. Moving on, regeneration and healing are also very prevalent themes associated with Pluto. This is because Pluto rules the breaking down of toxic patterns so something stronger and healthier can take root. It's the compost of your soul, or in other words, the decay that nourishes and fuels new growth you never imagined that you were capable of. And lastly, obsession and intensity are common Plutonian trends. Where Pluto lives in your chart, you may feel extreme focus, passion, or fixation. It's not light energy at all. Rather, it's the gravitational pull that demands depth, authenticity, and the courage to dive in completely. Before ending this segment, it's important to note astrologically, Pluto rules Scorpio, the fearless deep diver of the zodiac. Like Pluto, Scorpio understands that change is not just about tweaking things, but it's about burning away what's false so that truth can stand. Astrologers often debate Pluto's exaltation, but many associate its highest expression with Leo or Aries. In Leo, Pluto's transformative power channels into creative self-expression and heart-led leadership, turning personal reinvention into a source of inspiration for others. In Aries, Pluto's fearless, pioneering energy burns away old limitations and forges bold new paths, embodying the courage to lead collective change. Some also suggest Pisces or Aquarius could hold exalted Pluto energy. Pisces for its ability to dissolve ego and rebirth the soul, and Aquarius for its revolutionary vision that transforms entire systems. Regardless of the sign, exalted Pluto operates with integrity, courage, and intent to empower both the individual and the collective. It's important to take away that Pluto doesn't work in straight lines and doesn't act fast. It digs in, works in cycles, and demands complete honesty with yourself, because that is most important. This isn't the planet that hands you a paintbrush like Neptune. No. It's one that hands you a torch and says, burn it away, all the illusions, so that the truth can rise.
Bam, sorry.
Yes.
Intense.
Much needed. So to sum it all up, your sun is your CEO. Bam, CEO of that chart, your chart. And your moon is your emotional compass. And Pluto is the cosmic alchemist, stripping away what's false, forcing you, pushing you in the fire of transformation, and guiding you towards your most empowered self. Now take a deep breath, stargazers, because up next we're talking Pluto retrograde.
But I just want to add one thing, which I thought was really funny.
Yeah.
I'm here agreeing with you with the CEO. I'm making my face like, yeah, nodding my head as if our stargazers can see me. I was emotionally,
Videos to come.
Oh, man, that was so funny.
And maybe we'll reveal ourselves soon.
Maybe soon, yeah. Stay tuned. Hey, if you want us to reveal ourselves,
you better follow, you better like, you better comment, so we know that our content is getting to you guys.
Bam.
Make sure you subscribe on YouTube, please. We are trying to increase our subscriber count. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you.
Love you guys.
Yes.
And with that, we hope you still have those astral journals ready. We're about to light a torch and head straight into the underworld together as we deep dive into Pluto retrograde. Now, stargazers, unlike Saturn's structure or Uranus's rebellion, Pluto isn't here to gently nudge you. Oh no. It's here to dig deep, pull up the roots, and show you what's really been buried beneath the surface. So, cue the I can't believe this is coming up again moment, because when Pluto goes retrograde, the universe isn't asking you to push forward. Nope, it's pulling you into the depths to face what you've been avoiding, strip away what's no longer serving you, and reclaim your power from the shadows. Let's break it down. Pluto goes retrograde once a year for about 5 to 6 months. And for our stargazers tuning in for the first time, retrograde means a planet appears to move backward in the sky from our perspective on Earth. It's not actually reversing, that's just an optical illusion. But trust us, the spiritual effects are very real. So, what might Pluto retrograde feel like? During this time, the truth is often uncovered, and secrets, power dynamics, and hidden motives come to light. You start to see situations and yourself with unflinching clarity. Also, endings and letting go are prevalent themes. Cycles, relationships, or patterns that are past their expiration date will demand release so something healthier can take root. And during Pluto retrograde, you will often be faced to confront your shadows. Old fears, wounds, or control issues rise to the surface, asking to be faced instead of avoided. You will also face a powerful empowerment reset during a Plutonian retrograde. You will begin to realize where you've been giving away your power and how to unapologetically reclaim it. Lastly, deep healing is unavoidable. Transformation that's been brewing quietly finally clicks into place, even if it comes through discomfort. Now, we know this might seem like a lot, but it's not a cosmic curse, stargazers. Pluto retrograde is the soul's invitation to clean house on a deep, energetic level, because Pluto is asking you, what am I still clinging onto that's already dead? Another question is, where have I given my power away, and how can I reclaim it? Or, what fears are keeping me from stepping into my full truth? And lastly, what needs to be transformed so I can rise stronger? Well, don't worry, stargazers. Your astro besties, Sophie and I,
Yep.
Hey, we have some stellar tips to share with you on how to work with Pluto during its backspin. Journal your shadow work and explore fears, resentments, and patterns you may want to release. Audit your power dynamics and identify where control is being taken or given too freely. Also, conduct a ritual for release. During this time, it is important to symbolically let go of something that no longer serves you. Maybe that's the burning of old letters, clearing a space, or cutting of energetic cords. You'll figure it out. You'll know. Also, during Pluto retrograde, it's important to embrace the stillness. This will allow the deeper transformation to happen without rushing to, quote-unquote, fix it. And lastly, check your obsession, stargazers. If you feel hyper-focused on something, ask whether it's empowering or draining you. When you focus on these reflections while journaling, You'll start to notice your own patterns, and those patterns become your personal map for navigating Pluto's depths and transformations with wisdom. Before we end this segment,
I just want to say I totally relate to this right now. But I'll follow up with this later on. I'm sorry.
Oh no! Actually, I think we had an energetic vibe there because I was going to say the same thing, especially for the other one, and we'll get to that.
Yeah.
What the other one meaning, especially the last bullet I just said.
Hell yeah.
Because actually, the third to last bullet I just said.
Right. Even with checking the obsession, I mean, I'll follow up with that because I don't know if we want to give them some info before we dive into additional commentary, but I'm feeling it. So I'll let you go on.
I say let's let them have that anticipation.
They need the information. They need the information.
Yep. Stay tuned, stargazers, because it's coming out and we're going to have a Sophie moment. I love it. I love those. I want to come up with like a fun segment for them. The Sophie truth. I love that.
It seems like it just happens. I feel
love
like
it.
What was it, Jimmy Neutron, where he had that?
Oh, Jimmy Neutron. Yeah.
I forget what the song.
Oh man, I forgot.
But it was
about
like
Jimmy
traveling
Neutron.
through the neurons and stuff in the brain. That happens to me.
Oh my god, I love that. You know, when we reveal ourselves, we have to do like a nice, fun,
we do
video with that. I think that would be really funny
for each of the moments.
Yes, I love that, and we have to come up with a fun name for it too.
Yeah.
Hey, honestly, any stargazers, if you have any ideas, we're open.
Hell yeah. We appreciate it too.
Yes, we definitely do. But before we end this segment, we want to give you a little cosmic heads up. As of this recording, it's the second week of August 2025, and Pluto is, wait for it, in retrograde in Aquarius. That means we're reviewing long-term structures, power systems, and personal foundations right now. Hence, the Sophie moment.
Yes.
Stay tuned. But this retrograde began on May 4th of 2025 and will last until October 13th of 2025. And to summarize, Pluto retrograde isn't about chaos for chaos's sake. It's about purging what's false so the truth can stand. It's your chance to face the shadow, step into your power, and emerge on the other side reborn. And now that we've walked through the depths of Pluto retrograde, let's talk about how Pluto shows up in your birth chart.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Heather. I have to say, I absolutely love your retrograde segments.
Oh, thanks, Sophie.
They really bring things into perspective. Just saying.
Bam, bam, bam.
Yes. But stargazers, it is time for a cosmic speed date with Pluto in the zodiac signs. We are going to start off with Pluto in our fire signs, Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. Pluto in the fire signs transforms through bold action, courage, and ignition of collective willpower. Pluto in Aries is the warrior rebirth generation, breaking down old identities and pioneering entirely new paths. Their mantra is, I transform fear into fearless action. Pluto and Leo are the creative revolutionaries who channel transformation through self-expression, leadership, and heart-led change. They'll tell you, I lead with courage and create with fire. Pluto and Sagittarius are the truth seekers, dismantling outdated beliefs and expanding collective wisdom. They live by the words, I destroy false truths to reveal higher understanding. Now let's move on to Pluto in earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. Pluto in earth signs transforms through mastery of physical realm and building lasting legacies. Pluto and Taurus are the reshapers of values, security, and resources. They transform how we define abundance. They'll remind you, I rebuild security from the ground up. Pluto and Virgo are the healers who reform systems of health, service, and daily life to empower and purify. Their guiding belief is I perfect through transformation and serve through truth. Pluto in Capricorn are the system breakers and power shifters, dismantling old structures and redefining leadership. They stand by I rebuild authority by integrity and vision. Next up, Pluto in air signs, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. Pluto in air signs transform through radical shifts in communication, relationships, and collective ideals. Pluto in Gemini is the generation that transform information, media, and the way we connect. They believe deeply, I speak truth that changes worlds. Pluto in Libra are the relationship reformers, breaking down outdated partnership models and restoring balance. They'll tell you without hesitation, I create harmony by transforming injustice. Pluto in Aquarius are the visionaries dismantling outdated systems to birth new communities and technologies, revolutionizing their rally cry, I for the good of all. And finally, what?
Sorry. I was just thinking about Aquarius. I mean, get it? The revolutionized rally call?
Yeah.
And then, the return.
Absolutely.
And
we
sorry.
need it.
We'll get to that in a
We love
second.
the music festivals.
I'm so sorry. I was thinking about America's birth chart.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's coming. And finally, Pluto in water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Pluto in water signs transform through emotional depth, intuition, and collective healing. Pluto in Cancer is the generation that redefines family, home, and emotional security. They swear by, I heal the roots so new growth can flourish. Pluto in Scorpio is in its home sign. Pluto is at full strength, empowering shadow workers who fearlessly bring taboo topics, power, and intimacy into the light for profound transformation. They'll look you in the eye and say, I rise from the ashes to embody truth. Pluto in Pisces are the spiritual regenerators who dissolve illusions and guide the collective towards unity consciousness. Their sole promise is I transform illusion into divine truth. This is actually interesting. Side note, if anyone who follows astrophysics or physics, you know that we kind of have to move into another type of civilization. And since we are in the midst of Pluto and Aquarius, which has its own themes that is reflected to right now, I wonder if we'll finally move on to a type one civilization when we get to this point, because I feel like we all have to get on a collective level to reach that.
Oh, I love that.
Interesting.
That's a good correlation.
Right?
Connection.
Interesting stuff. But knowing your Pluto sign is like holding the blueprint for your deepest transformation and the karmic mission your generation came here to fulfill. It may feel intense, even heavy at times, but it's also where your greatest power lies. So the next time life feels like it's crumbling beneath your feet, remember, it's not the end. That's Pluto saying, let it burn. You're ready to rise stronger.
Love that. Phoenix energy.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, but stargazers, now that we've explored Pluto in your personal chart, let's zoom way out to see how massive its influence really is. Because unlike the inner planets that shape your daily personality and habits, Pluto belongs to an elite cosmic league. The Justice League. No, I'm just kidding. The Outer League.
Yeah.
Or the outer planets. This group also includes Uranus and Neptune in what we call the transpersonal or outer planetary realm. Their energy doesn't just work on a personal level, it's generational. Pluto is the farthest and slowest of them all, taking roughly 248 years to complete a single orbit around the sun. That means entire generations, sometimes even 2 or 3 decades of people share the same Pluto sign. And with Pluto, That shared placement is like a soul contract your generation signed, agreeing to face certain collective shadows, dismantle outdated systems, and be the catalyst for deep transformation. Think about it, stargazers. Pluto's sign during your birth era shapes the big themes your generation will confront, from power shifts and social reform to cultural taboos and rebirth after destruction. For example, if you were born with Pluto in Libra, 1971 to 1984, your generation's collective work has centered on transforming relationships, justice, and equality. If you were born with Pluto in Scorpio, that's 1984 to 1995, your generation came here to dive into taboo topics such as sex, death, rebirth, and the deeper truths hidden in the shadows. And now, with Pluto entering Aquarius, 2024 to 2043, we're stepping into a global mission to revolutionize technology, community, and the way power is shared. Just like Sophie said with that correlation, type 1 civilization, right? So let's see what time's going to tell in these next 2 decades.
Hell yeah. And I think it's going to be interesting because a lot of the babies that's being born now, they're going to be born with the North Node in Pisces, which has that connection to spirituality. And I wonder how that's going to play out when it's Pluto in Pisces.
Ooh. That's very interesting.
We'll see. We shall see.
And Pluto energy moves like tectonic plates, slowly, quietly, and then suddenly, bam, everything shifts. It's the planet of historical turning points, societal rebirths, and moments when humanity can no longer avoid change. In astrology, we track Pluto transits not just in personal charts, but in the charts of nations, corporations, and movements, because when Pluto hits a major point, something is going to transform permanently. If you listen to episode 8, you may remember how we spoke to the importance of Pluto in America's birth chart and its association with the American Revolution when it was last in Aquarius and Capricorn.
Yeah.
But for both, especially, we also went into speaking about the other significant revolutions which took place during that time when Pluto was in Aquarius. And if you haven't listened yet, we highly recommend you listen to it. If you are tuning in on YouTube, we're going to place a link at the end of this video, so that can be your next listen.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good one.
It is a good
Your
one.
Your mind will be blown.
Like the Revolutionary Era.
Boom, 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 boom.
But moving along, before we wrap up, let's shine a little light on how Pluto interacts with your big three, your sun, moon, and rising. These placements shape your core identity, emotional world, and how you present yourself. When Pluto connects with them, it's like stepping into a cosmic forge, burning away the unnecessary, applying pressure, and transforming you from the inside out. These connections are also called aspects. And while we'll explore aspects and houses in much more depth in future episodes, here's a quick preview of what Pluto aspects to your big three may feel like. If your Pluto placement squares your sun, you may face powerful tests to your identity, but each challenge refines you into a more authentic and unstoppable version of yourself. Now, if your Pluto trines your moon, emotional depth and resilience come naturally. You can navigate the undercurrents of feelings, both your own as well as others, with courage and insight. Lastly, if your Pluto placement conjuncts your rising, you have an undeniable presence. People sense your intensity and transformative power the moment you enter into their presence. These are just a few examples because your Pluto placement can form aspects with all of your chart placements in many ways, bringing its own flavor and depth to its signature themes of how power, rebirth, and shadow work into your life. And, of course, the house Pluto lives in will show where this transformation plays out most powerfully.
And speaking of transformation, it's time to get personal, stargazers. We're sharing our own Pluto placements.
That we are, Sophie. Would
Yes.
you like to go first? Or you want me to go first? Or you want to do?
I can go first.
Hey,
No problem.
I love the structure of you going first.
Okay. Sounds good. My Pluto is in Sagittarius, so it's all about transforming through truth, exploration, and big picture vision. I'm here to burn down outdated beliefs, question the old rules, and chase wisdom across borders, physically, mentally, and spiritually.
Bam. That was a bam moment.
It was. It felt like it too. For me, transformation comes through seeking experiences that expand my soul and my perspective. Spiritually, this placement pushes me to break free from limiting beliefs and inspire others to do the same. I transform by expanding minds and tearing down the walls around truth.
I love that.
Yeah, very, very much me.
Yeah, no, 100%. Can't wait for those truth bombs in a moment.
Yes.
But I might as well reveal mine.
Yes.
Unfortunately, we do not share the same Pluto placement, which would have been fun, like in our last episode. But my Pluto is in Scorpio. It's home sign, which means my transformation work is intense. This is a deep shadow diving energy, and I'm unafraid to confront what others shy away from. I'm here to bring taboo topics, power, and intimacy into the light, even if it makes people a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
100%. I feel like it's my theme, and it's intentional, unintentional.
But needed.
For sure. And for me, that transformation happens in the depths, like through facing fears, letting go of what's dead and rebuilding stronger, and kind of just tossing out that, I was going to say trash, but that sounds vulgar. Like tossing out that trash,
Tossing out that basura.
Yeah.
Take it out.
100%. And another thing too, which I think is very interesting with me and Scorpio and Pluto. Why did I say it like that? Pluto.
Pluto.
But spiritually, because Pluto in Scorpio has taught me that rebirth only comes after complete honesty with yourself.
Yeah.
Even about the parts you'd rather hide from.
Right. Honestly, some real stuff right there.
Yeah.
But I always say, like, I think if any generation had to deal with the amount of stuff that has happened in the last 30 years, I think it's Pluto and Scorpio people, because
us millennials have gone through
that has happened. And I know a lot of crazy things have happened in the past. Not downplaying that. But with the amount of like access to technology and information and everything and the world and life that we know right now, and to be able to deal with everything and still stay afloat, I think having that Pluto and Scorpio is definitely needed.
I definitely resonate with that. And I know we're missing a few of the millennial from the beginning and the end here. But if you really sit down and think about all of those situations you just addressed here, it really is true. And it brings about so much resilience. And
exactly.
That's
perfect
why,
word for it.
A lot of resilience. And we've learned so much. And one thing I've always said is that my generation was the first generation to grow up with and without technology.
Right.
And that's a big thing, right? With the way that you are connected to the world and the access you have with it. And that kind of all comes with that rebirth and destruction energy.
And being okay with it all. Like, all that comes with life.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And it's really fascinating, because even with Scorpio being such a deep sign.
Yeah, very misunderstood.
Exceptionally misunderstood. I know I've said it in a few other episodes. I've always said that every Scorpio I have come to know on a personal level have always been kind of gruff on the outside, but have been some of the most emotional and caring people on the inside. And that's because of that hard shell.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I have to say, though, your Pluto in Sagittarius, though, that's a big one, too, because you guys have been through a lot, and having that flamboyant energy of...
And I think that's why so many of the, the Gen Z generation is obsessed with their phones and obsessed with the access that we have to the information, because with Pluto, it is an energy of obsession. And I was just going to mention it because I kind of got this like zap or whatever, like this kind of intel when you were talking about the retrograde, about this obsession, because like recently, since Pluto has been in Aquarius, I've had this obsession with intaking more information than I've ever wanted. Like I don't want to say I used to, because I still have it in me. It's just not being highlighted right now, that I was okay with just like putting my phone down and not knowing what's going on. But recently I have been having to like force myself away from my phone so that I'm not constantly being inundated with what is happening right now, especially with everything, the climate of the world, our country, etc. Because like a lot is happening. A lot, even just outside of Pluto retrograde, like all the other retrogrades. We just finished up Mercury retrograde.
But even with our Uranus is still retrograde, Saturn still in retrograde, Neptune.
Right.
So we have all of these energies going on, some for rebuilding, right? So that Neptunian energy telling you to break away from that. Yeah. That gentle nudge, the paintbrush we talked about in our last episode, but with also
Pluto being like, go head on. Uranus being like, go head on.
Yeah.
Well, it's not there yet. It's not retrograde, but we're in that period where we're gearing up for the retrograde, which is beginning in September. Yeah. So we're starting to feel the effects. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's that mental preparation too, and being more aware of, because I will say with doing the podcast, and as our avid listeners may know, I'm newer to the game of really studying astrology and being more mindful of the retrogrades and other things as well. But it's very fascinating when you start to really open your mind to it and journal all of these different experiences you're having, and correlating it.
Absolutely. And it's just like taking time to do little notes.
Yeah.
Do little journal entries. Like no one expects you. And I think our listeners need to hear this, because even I need to remind myself of this. Rome wasn't built in a day. We've heard this quote time and time again. You're not going to just listen to a couple episodes of us and understand astrology like the back of your hand. It's not going to happen. But taking the time to, go with us through these journeys, through the planets, through the signs, through the houses, and all these things will help you gain knowledge. And over time, guess what? You will be an expert. Maybe you will become the astrologer that you want to be, or, just have more insight.
I love that.
Right?
Yeah, just continue that cosmic wave with us. Because even as we talk, sometimes we have these aha moments in the middle of recording.
Exactly.
And it's crazy. Like even before I feel like every time before we start recording, we always have some kind of deep conversation, whether it's like subconscious, it always seems to relate back to this. But we were talking about a lot of personal things, going on, which correlate to that being able to let go part of Pluto in retrograde. And one of the things too that earlier this week, I'm going through that replenish of redoing my apartment. So I woke up Tuesday and I was like, I'm going to get this all out. And I'm like taking down, I went like I don't want to say like a crazy person, but I was intense. I had to go to work.
Like feng shui.
I'm throwing out all this stuff, like old, like, and we spoke to that a little bit before, some other things. But when you start to correlate it, and as you're recording, you know it's there, but it's like, it's so many things that are going on, and it's a total revamp. But it's also the creative nature, I think, too, of Neptune a little bit.
100%.
Yeah. So it's really fun.
It is.
Yeah, and
it's not to feel intimidated,
but
to, like, I was telling Heather I'm reading this book.
The one I was going to get, and then I wasn't allowed to get it.
No, because I'm going to get it for Heather.
I was like, I'm going to order it now. She's like, no.
And you know what? I just want to say that it's taught me a lot, even as we come to you with these episodes where we do a lot of research to bring you guys like information that helps you gain more knowledge on astrology. But you know why so many freaking Scorpios are amazing at what they do? Because they're okay with like things not working out, things going amazing, and just rolling with it. You need to tune into that Pluto energy if you want to move forward in life.
100.
Don't over obsess. Of course not. We're not asking you to do that. Don't do too much. But sometimes you just have to do it, at least to get there.
And you said it in as you were saying that, for when we were talking about Scorpio specifically with sun signs and the zodiac. When we went through our zodiac episode, you were talking about how it's your friend that does that business venture.
Yes.
That somehow always yes.
Always thriving.
Always thriving, yes. Yeah. And when you put that and correlate it with the Plutonian energy of Scorpio too, you have this, because it really is a shaping of generations.
It is, because
I mean some generations will have, it could be 30 years, 12 years, because of its elliptical orbit. So,
but stargazers, it's time to dig deep and get radically honest with ourselves. I hope you've got your astro journals open to a fresh page, because this week's homework is all about facing the shadow, reclaiming your power, and stepping into transformation. Let's dive into your Pluto reflection prompts. Where in my life am I clinging to something that's already dead? What fears are keeping me from my fullest power? Where am I ready to burn away illusions so that truth can rise? And what part of me is asking to be reborn? Now, look up your Pluto placement and house. If you haven't pulled up your chart yet, grab your exact birth time, location, and check a free site like AstroSeek, or use an app like Time Passages. Remember, your Pluto sign reveals the generational transformation themes you're here to help shift. And Pluto house shows where in your life that transformation work is most personal and powerful. Here's your Pluto power mission for this week. Shadow session. Journal about a fear or a belief you're ready to release. Power audit. List 3 areas where you've been giving away your power and 1 step to reclaim it in each. A Phoenix action. Take a symbolic step towards a fresh start. Clear a space, edit a habit, start a new practice. And Underworld moment. Spend intentional quiet time in self-reflection or meditation, asking, what truth am I ready to face? Remember, stargazers, Pluto's magic is transformation, and transformation doesn't come from avoiding the dark. It comes from walking through it and emerging more powerful than ever.
Ooh, beautifully said, Sophie.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Love it. But stargazers, we hope this Plutonian deep dive lit a fire in your soul, cracked open a few shadows, and maybe even inspired you to reclaim more of your personal power. Pluto asks for honesty, transformation, and the courage to let go of what no longer serves, and we hope you're feeling ready to rise from the ashes in your own way. But stargazers, our journey into the depths isn't stopping here. Oh no, because in our next episode, we're exploring Chiron, the wounded healer of the cosmos. If Pluto is the planet that transforms you through the fire, Chiron shows you how to turn your wounds into wisdom and your pain into purpose. Before we close the book on Pluto for now, don't forget to hit subscribe on your favorite podcast app so you never miss a cosmic drop in the one you're listening on to right now.
And if you're listening on YouTube, turn that thumbs up blue.
Thumbs up, Okay, I'm getting a little whimsical here.
No, it's good. We love the magic.
You know, we got a little bit of maybe sound effect Heather too.
Yeah,
like meow. Oh,
it's perfect.
I love it. And fairies.
Yeah.
So take those wings and flutter over to our socials.
Yeah.
So you can follow us at the Stellar Soulcast for your daily astro inspo and updates. Also, share with us your Pluto sign and house. We'd love to hear how transformation shows up in your chart. With that, we want to remind you all to
keep reaching for the stars and trusting the vibes. Until next time, stargazers.